Hi. I want to preface this by saying that if you already think that I'm nuts, or you thought that what happened in jail part one was nuts, admittedly, I was overexcited when I made that video, but you might not want to watch this one because I can't tell you too much about why what I'm about to tell you happened. I have no idea. All I'm going to do is tell you what happened, what actually happened, and you make your own decision and tell me in the comments what you think because I can't control what you think of me. I can tell you that I'm 100% sober, 8 years sober. I've had a rough year in 2022. 2023 is already incredible and is going to be more amazing as we go along. Thank you for your messages of concern about the court date. I had a court date 2 days ago, and I was the case was thrown out, so I'm completely clear of everything. No charges, nothing against my record. So that was great. I will make another video telling you exactly what happened to lead me to get arrested. But basically, I was in a fragile state of mind anyway at the end of last year, and an altercation just blew up over some guys, and yeah. That's that. But I'll go into a video about more. Now I can talk about it. But what today's video is also like a nice little precursor into my big drop on January 12th, which is tomorrow. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe because things are about to get super interesting on this channel. Click the little subscription button below if you don't think I'm nuts after this. I've got a Patreon, exclusive music and videos every single week. That's about to get very interesting after the 12th. And I've got a music channel, Stephen Hilton Calm. So it's been a little while since I did part one, and it was a little bit frantic and all over the place. But part one, I talked about being arrested and using my muscle memory of the binaural beats I was working on I didn't have anything to soothe myself, and I was obviously very stressed and in a high state of anxiety for being arrested and put in a little holding cell. And I had no other option than I was freaking out, and I didn't know what to do. And I've been working on these pieces for a long time, and they're designed to relax you, and the frequency was just still in my head of what I was working on. So I just recalled that in my head, and it totally calmed me down. And then I get taken from the small holding prison to the roughest prison in the jail. I get confused because in England we say prison and jail for the same thing. The roughest jail in the valley. Which was intense. And as I'm going now, I'm freaking out. So I'm really leaning into this technology. This binaural beats is basically, it's the stimulation of left and right and left and right. And it was invented by a psychiatrist who was diagnosed with cancer, terminal cancer. And she was so stressed from the diagnosis. When she'd left the hospital, and she walked her usual route home, she got home and realized that she was less stressed, but she didn't know why. And every time she would take this walk, she would realize her anxiety was going down. And she realized that the tree-lined streets had trees at different frequencies, like planted at different parts. So her eyes were going left, right, left, right, left, right. So that left, right stimulation is huge for your brain. And you can encourage and influence your brain to do almost anything with the right frequency of these beats, which is what I've been studying for months. And I'm finally ready to talk about it and drop it. Anyway, so there's a science behind it. I didn't invent it, but I've been fusing it with music and writing. And anyway, all this to say, it's working. And on the way to the really rough prison, jail, I'm just leaning into this because it's all I've got. It's the only thing I've got to calm myself down, and it's really working. So I get into the jail. They put me in a cell by myself, and I'm like, oh, this is all right. I'd heard there's like big holding cells with crazy people. I'm glad I'm not in one of those. 2 hours later, I get called. Mr. Hilton, if you'd like to follow me. And we go down to the crazy cage parts. And there's 3 insane, crazy cells. And they're overbooked because it's just before Christmas. And apparently people go absolutely crazy just before Christmas. So there were a ton of arrests. Ton of drunk people, ton of gang members. And I feel like they put me in the more gangy of the cells, less of the drunky and more of the gangy. So when I went in, I was really like intimidated. And I remember just thinking, don't talk, because you'll mark yourself out as unusual if you talk. And everyone's kind of asleep on their bunks. There was, I guess, about 20, 25 people. And I just saw bodies just sleeping. But there was just this atmosphere of violence and heaviness and just, you can just feel it. If you go into a violent atmosphere or a really intense atmosphere, you can just feel it. And I was like, oh God, just go in the bunk. So I found the last bunk, went in and tried to sleep and just thought about these binaural beats because that's all I had. And I know people are going to say I'm crazy, but it works, and you'll see it works in a couple of days, tomorrow. So there I am. Hours go by, and the guards are coming in every half an hour to check that everyone's awake and everyone's still there. So they come in and they bang on the door. So you're sleep deprived. You can't sleep. So they're already taking a really tense situation and ramping it up with sleep deprivation. So everyone's really on edge, and the people in the other cell are screaming. They're screaming. One guy is just screaming his face off the whole night. So everyone's really jaggedy on edge. So people start to wake up around 5 in the morning, and I can just tell there's like rival gang members in the cell. There's a sense between these groups of 2 guys of impending ultraviolence. Like it's like so palpable in the air. Just hatred, and I'm really stressed out, obviously. And no one's talking to me, so I'm like, okay, just don't talk to anyone. Just like, there's a guy coming off heroin in the corner who's been in that cell for 2 weeks, and he's sort of being sick, and it's crazy. And so I'm keeping myself to myself. Everything's fine. At 5 o'clock, they put in a guy in his 50s, a drunk guy in the cells. He's just been caught for a DUI. And he comes in and he's super drunk. But he's super drunk in a sociable way. He starts talking to everyone. And no one wants to talk to him. Everyone's like, body language is like so just violent and intense. And he's just like, oh, hey, what are you doing? Hey, my name's Michael. I'm this. And I'm like, oh, God, no, this guy. And a few guys are like, leave me alone, just, or they're ignoring him. And one guy or 2 guys are talking, but like really just to shut him up. And I'm like, don't talk to me. Of course, Michael comes over to me. Oh, what are you in for? What's your name? And I'm not the kind of guy that can just ignore someone. I feel bad. So even though it's against my best interest and probably against my safety, I answer him. And of course, they're like, London, a guy from London. Oh, you're not from here. Oh my God. Well, he does that. And then everyone's sort of looking around, sort of scowling. And I'm like, oh God. And I sort of reached the point where I was like, it's going to kick off. I feel like it's going to kick off in this cell anyway. I can feel it. There's this tension. He's making it more awkward. The guards are coming in every half an hour. I'm feeling like the next time the guards come in, they're going to time it. So when they leave, they've got half an hour of beating the fuck out of each other. Here's where it gets crazy. If you don't like crazy things or you already think I'm crazy, turn off this video. Did you turn off? Is it just the people that don't think I'm crazy left? Is it just you guys? Are you sure? No one here thinks I'm crazy? Anyone at the back? So I'm at the point where my life's gone to shit that year. And I'm like, I don't care anymore if I get beaten up. I don't care. I'm done. 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 I've had enough. I've had enough. I'm done. So I'm like, F it. Yeah, I'm from London. Oh, what do you do? If anyone says, what do you do, and you're a musician or a content creator, you never say what you do because if you don't want to talk, because it leads on to 100 questions, especially a composer. But I'm done. F it. I make music. Oh, really? And then a couple of the more gang-related guys like start to get a little bit. You can see they're getting a little bit interested. I guess they like music or whatever. And I'm like, I'm a composer. I make classical music and film scores. And I'm like, oh God, no! Why did I say that? Oh God! So Michael's pushing me. Oh really? What are you doing now? What are you doing now? I didn't tell him about the content creation because I didn't want to go into that. But the thing I'm most proud of right now is these videos on my music. I'm obviously not including my kids. That's a life thing. I'm talking about professionally. So remember, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. F it, I'm done, I don't care. I'm like, oh, right now I'm making this crazy music that makes people calm down and get less stressed. And Michael's like, oh, okay. How does that work? I'm done. I don't care. I'm like, it stimulates the left and right side of your brain. Calms you down. I don't care anymore. I'm supposed to drop it on January 12th, but who knows? I might be in jail, prison. I don't care. I don't care. I was supposed to do something big January. Don't care anymore. I was going to do this thing. I'm pissed off. I'm in jail. So something in me just says, I can hear an air conditioner. Anyone who thinks I'm crazy, turn it off now. You all gone? Because this is about to get nuts. I'm just going to tell you what happened. You can judge it. You can tell me what you think. I'm not saying that this is the cause of anything. I'm just saying what happened. So there's 2 air conditioners, and I could hear them oscillating like that. And I'm like, it's kind of like those 2 air conditioners. See how they're going like that? And it's like a left and right kind of thing. And you can hear one and hear another one on the other side, and they're not going at the same time. That can make your brain do whatever you want. And Michael's like, really? Okay. And Michael's like doing it. He's sitting there doing it. He's closed his eyes. He's fully in. He's drunk. He's a big drinky drunky. He's there. He's in. And I'm not kidding when I tell you that I feel like everyone else was also doing it. Just because, what else are you going to do? You're bored. You're stressed. I'm telling you this thing can stop you being stressed, left and right. So the whole cell just goes, like, everyone else is going mental. There's a guy over there shouting. Guys in the other thing are going crazy. This cell calms down. I'm not kidding you. You know how my music works with people. You know that my binaural beats that I've been hiding in all my music, it does something. And Laura's about to tell you about her experience with this. It's not just me. The cell calms down. I mean, everyone just seems to be tuned into these air conditioners. A friend of mine told me that since I told her this story, and she told me that Abraham Hicks, you know Abraham Hicks? I didn't know this, but she meditates to an air conditioner oscillation sound. I didn't know that. So I'm telling these guys to listen to the air conditioner oscillation. I guess they're bored and they want to fight, but they're like, okay. The whole cell calms down. And one of the gang members says, you know the biggest I mean, I'm not laughing. I'm just the change from the ultra-violence to, the biggest cause of death in my community? Suicide. And he starts talking about his homeboy that killed himself in a wardrobe, in a closet 2 weeks before. And then another guy's like, at least we're alive. I swear to God, this conversation just starts happening of like really deep, like emotional stuff. And I'm kind of saying that it's because of this, but I don't know. Certainly, every other of these 2 cells is still the same, but we are like having this conversation. We talk about life, how we're lucky to be alive even though we're stuck in this place, how we don't want to ever come back here, the lessons we could learn from this. Everyone in the cell is chipping in. I'm not kidding you. And I'm like blown away. I'm not really engaged in the conversation because I can't believe what's happening. Some really heartfelt stuff, some really, really amazing stories that I don't want to talk about because they're not my stories to tell, but everyone got to know each other in that cell after this like couple of minutes of just tuning into this thing. And I know that it was because of this, because there's no other reason that we went from ultra-violence to having this sort of conversation. As the people started filtering out to go to court the next day, 8 and 9, we were fist bumping each other. There were rival gang members in that cell. I've never been so serious about anything. I want to tell you this, and I don't care if you think I'm crazy or if you think I'm nuts or you're like, you clearly need to go to hospital, like some people have been saying. I have never felt more sane. I've never felt more together in my head. My life's gone to shit. But we were friends leaving that cell. When I went in, there was violence in the air. When I left, everyone's fist, take it easy, bro, stuff like that. And it's making me kind of emotional a little bit to think about it, because maybe that's why I went through all this. I don't fucking know. But there was something so powerful in that room. And the vibe changed from violence to compassion. And I know it's got something to do with this stuff I've been working on, this technology I've been really coming up with, which I'm going to tell you about more, because I've gone further into it tomorrow. So that's my story. Laura's going to be telling you about her experience with this particular piece that I'm dropping first. We weren't getting on particularly well yesterday, and she called me and she was like, that was insane, what I just heard. She was like, my mood has totally changed. She'll tell you about it. So I know there's some magic in this. And I know that if you'll come with an open mind and listen and just join in with me on this journey, I know we're going to go through some emotional healing. And that may sound crazy, but I don't care at this point, because I feel like it's an important thing to pass on. It's free. I'm not going to be charging for any of this, and I've been working on it for months. And I want you to just hear me out. That's all I'm saying to you. Hear me out with this. Hear me out. Give it a shot. So tomorrow, I still haven't worked out exactly how I'm going to present this yet. So maybe it'll be a video. Maybe it will just be the piece. I don't know. But I love you guys. And I want you to come on this journey with me. You don't think I'm crazy. I know you don't. I know you're going to give me a chance. Let's see where this goes.